Hello, Waswere here, back with another video, and today we are going to be reviewing the new ancient magic spells that were released today. These spells are complicated, so it's going to take a while for the meta to be fully fleshed out and for people to understand just how to use it, but for now I'm just going to go over my initial thoughts after testing these out at dummies for a bit. Let's start with the worst one in my opinion, Animate Dead. It provides extra damage reduction on each hit based on the amount of magic tank armor you have on. This is equal to 10% of the armor value of the tank equipment plus 33% of your defense level, with a flat maximum of 75% damage reduction per hit. When wearing full Acto Primeval, this damage reduction is equal to 384, so if you're originally going to be taking a 1000 hit, it's now reduced by 384 to 616. But if the original hit was 500, it can only be reduced by 75% to 125 damage taken. This sounds really good when you read it, but in practice it's not very good for bossing. The damage reduction provides on a per hit basis, and bosses usually attack once every 4 to 6 ticks, and they usually come in bigger hits rather than smaller ones. I think the one place where we might see this as a prevalent meta is at raids. There are 10 people there, so losing one person's DPS armor is not the end of the world, and we all know how poorly Gaka and Beastmaster kills can go after the base dies. So anything that helps them stay alive is a worthwhile use in my opinion. The big use that this spell will get is with AFK Slayer for high level mobs. If you are taking 100 to 200 hits constantly from Slayer monsters, then wearing an Acto helmet and boots can give you 127 damage reduction. This gives you 75% damage reduction on all hits below 508, all while keeping the glove, top, and bottom slots open for power armor if you are going to be slaying with mage. Next up is Incite Fear. This is the most niche of the abilities, though it might see itself in advanced ability rotation soon enough. Incite Fear is an auto-cast spell, so it's basically like Blood Blitz or Air Surge, and it's the ability you use. Every time you use an ability, you gain a stack of Glacial Embrace up to 5, and for each stack, the adrenaline cost of Tsunami is reduced by 12%, meaning if you are at 5 stacks, which is the maximum, it only costs 40% adrenaline. This can be further lowered to 30% with the Ring of Vigor. You're almost guaranteed to crit 3 times in the Tsunami period, 30 seconds long, which makes it essentially a free ultimate ability. This is very good for advanced DPS rotations, as you can use Tsunami to help build adrenaline with critical hits. Combo that with the crit bonus from the Chandler's Ring and Concentrated Blast, and you're looking at a lot of criticals very quickly. On top of that, while you are at 5 stacks, every 12 seconds a Frost Surge happens, which is an AoE effect that deals between 10 to 50% ability damage to the target and up to 8 enemies in a 5x5 area. This makes it a great AoE clearing spell and could be something that combos very well with the Animate Dead for AFK Slayer on high level mob. As the timer is 20 seconds long before the stacks go away, you can juggle between this spell and the next spell, Exsanguinate, to keep both stacks going at maximum and getting the most out of mage. Exsanguinate is Magicks' answer to range being overpowered. This spell gives a flat DPS increase for using it, which with damage from basic abilities being increased by 1% for each stack. The stacks work like the Ruthless perk, where each time you apply the stack, the timer refreshes, giving you 20 more seconds. This makes it very easy to maintain the 12% bonus damage on mage basic abilities. It also has a special effect where it transforms Rack into Rack and Ruin. This gives Rack a damage range of 60 to 300%, which increases to 120 to 360% if the target is stunned. But it comes at the cost of losing all the stacks on the target. So it's a bit of a give and take. For me, I could see it being the last ability in Sunshine, and then by the time you Sunshine again, you'll be back up to 12 stacks again. Overall, I think this is something that I would main camp if I didn't need healing from blood spells and I was using mage, but it doesn't move the needle enough for me to swap back to maging as my main style, and I'll just stick with range and melee for now. Smoke Cloud, or as many like to call Vuln 2.0, increases critical hits by 15%. On top of that, it also increases the hit cap on criticals by 12%, so it'll be 13.4 as a maximum, or up to 16.8k if you are using Erethdor's Grimoire. You apply it the same way you do Vuln by having it replace an auto attack, and it can be cast without wielding a mage weapon. However, it can also splash, and that's where Ingenuity of the Humans comes in. It gives 100% accuracy on your next ability, so you activate Ingenuity and then Smoke Cloud to get the effects with range or melee. The key is that Ingenuity has a cooldown of 90 seconds, while the debuff lasts for 120 seconds, meaning that as long as you only want to Smoke Cloud one target, you can maintain it at all times. This means that you do not need a major in your teams, you can just have another ranger. We've already figured out how we're going to smoke cloud at both AOD and Solak, and none of them require a Magicks. At AOD, one of the minion tanks that is ranging smoke clouds at the start of the fight after their ECB, and then at 1.8 mil HP, the hammer free melee reapplies that buff, so it lasts throughout the rest of the kill. At Solak, the base tank will do most of the smoke clouding, but with the way that the cooldowns work and how they line up with Zerk, there will need to be one DPS who does it on the climb. The long and short of it is, despite this being a new magic spell, you don't really need to use magic to take advantage of it, and it just further power creeps range and melee away from mage. In terms of the DPS increase, it depends on what your critical hit chance is. The maximum base critical hit chance is 30.8%. This is obtained from using the Grimoire, Fighting 4 with level 20, the Reaver's Ring, and then having a natural 5% critical chance. At 30.8% of your hits being criticals and getting 15% increased damage on them, you're looking at 4.6 DPS increase while having this debuff active. Without the Grimoire, it drops down to 18.8% critical chance, which is still a 2.8% DPS increase. It's much smaller of an increase than Volning, but still enough that you want to put in the effort to get this ability off. As a whole, I think Jagex did a great job of making interesting changes to the meta, introducing new combos for the players to master, and bring more fun and communication to group PvM. But at the same time, if the goal was to make Mage more relevant, I don't think they accomplished this with at least in the high tier. Though this could be like range where it's the first step of many to becoming a great style again. This was a quick video, and as the metas change, I will do my best to report back. But if you like the content I'm creating, consider subscribing, and if you enjoyed the video, drop a like on it. But past that, have a good day, and I'll catch you in the next one.